I don't really like physics, so I like biology and some a bit of chemistry.
They said it's more of a boys' subject.
So if I get this GCSE in physics, what am I going to do with it?
Right, come on guys, here we go, please. Right, come on in, books out please, quickly as you can.
Why do so few girls choose to study physics post-16? Physicists and educationalists have come up with many theories, but what do the girls themselves have to say?
I think the teacher thinks that the boys are more capable than the girls because he sort of, when he asks people to say things or to do examples of practicals, he always picks boys, or he always, to moan at people, he always picks the girls, really.
To draw out the pupil's perspective, Teachers TV sent a team of young women back to school. Rosie Walton, who's doing a PhD in particle physics. Laura Kennedy, the features editor of Cosmo Girl magazine. And Michelle Dow, an engineer who worked for British Gas for 15 years. The team spent the day at Hayden School, a mixed comprehensive in northwest London.
Right, Johnny, you're one of my superstars. Okay, what I want you to do is fill one of the boxes as best you can, all right, yeah? So someone's going to be words.
The day begins with a Year 10 GCSE applied science lesson on electric current, part of the physics module. Head of Science Dave Dennis is filling in the absence of the class's regular teacher.
Right, well you go. Consult with your bench. If you're not sure, come and do one for me.
So, is his teaching style going to encourage more girls to stick with physics?
Fantastic. Well done, Daniel. And pass it on to any other table you like. Okay, George's group. Okay? Come on, George. You can hold a golf club, you can hold a pen. Come on in. We're going to investigate how we can get electricity from lemons. Okay, last night I made myself a nice salad. Okay, a bit of olive oil, a bit of salt and pepper, lemon. Okay? And,
the visitors were impressed with how the lesson started.
I found it quite interesting because at the beginning they were all really involved when the first experiment came out, and when the lemons came out they were like, oh...
It was a real fast-paced lesson, wasn't it? It was like really straight away, right into it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when they were getting hands-on and really stuck in and squeezing the lemons and getting the equipment out and all that kind of thing, they all seemed to be quite engaged.
All the girls were agreed that this was the sort of lesson they liked.
So what is it that you prefer? Is it the practical or is it the written work?
Practicals. Usually we do more writing. Yeah. We don't usually have a whole lesson of practicals.
And we don't do practicals like every lesson.
Yeah. We have to do quite a lot of risk assessments as well, which is annoying.
Put 250 centimetres square of water at 40 degrees Celsius into a beaker.
On the table that I was looking at, I noticed actually that the boys were getting their hands on the bits of metal and the lemons and stuff, and the girls were looking at the instructions in there. Oh, that was just on that particular table. I don't know whether
I thought it was the other way around on another table. Really? Actually. Yeah. There was a guy reading the instructions out, and the girl was holding it on and interacting with it on my table.
Right, we're going to make up the next cell for me. Who's going to take charge?
Yeah, he did.
Johnny, I've always said you're a superstar. You're going to take charge of this bit for me?
Your sir's main man.
Yeah. Come on then. Right, let's go.
In this class, the teacher has ensured that girls and boys sit together.
Do you bleach your hair with lemon oil? When you go on holiday? What, in the sun?
Yeah. Doing anything. And you put like lemon juice in it and
it turns yellow.
Yeah.
For me it was interesting to see the way that the girls and the boys interacted because I went to a girls' school. So I didn't have the feeling that I wasn't good at physics at my school, but I do wonder whether the girls feel... I felt that the teacher was inclusive.
Yeah.
That when they were doing that stuff on the board, maybe the guys would tend to pass the pen to another guy.
Yeah. Right, come on the girls. Right, come on, sort yourselves out. You're getting a little bit behind. Right, come on.
When the girls could see the relevance of what they were learning about, the lessons seemed to have more impact.
So we're taking this idea of lemons and now transferring it to perhaps something that you might put in your mobile phone. You're probably not going to put a lemon in your mobile phone. All right, yeah? 2 lemons?
The lesson is engaging, but some of the girls have reservations.
I don't really think it's very relevant when you get out of school.
If there was something that physics, like you could do something in the future, that
to do with physics, and it would be like better and more interesting, but because you can only really think of being a physics teacher, I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
In the second class, the team observe. Likon Mohammed is teaching a GCSE physics lesson on electrical resistance.
Today we will do an experiment where we find out how does the length, that is the total distance it's traveling, is going to affect the resistance. We've got to measure two quantities to find out the resistance.
For the girls in this class, relevance is even more of an issue.
Remember at the beginning of the year he goes to us, even if you don't want to do physics when you're older, everything you learn will help you in life, because like all the stuff that you learn will help yourself. I don't think it has.
No, it's what we learned today, resistance and length.
I'm going to use that.
I don't even know why we did it.
Do you think we're going to get lines or detention?
Most of the girls in this class saw themselves as more academic than their peers doing applied science, with its strong element of coursework. They had all opted to do 2 science GCSEs, not 3.
But most of us wanted to take like a more academic route, but not 3 sciences that academic. Like,
Okay.
Because if you take 2 sciences, then you can do whatever other subjects you want as well.
So what about the applied science? Why didn't you like the idea of that, or did you?
Apparently it's only for like, I don't want to say it actually. Apparently it's for dumb people. That's what I heard.
I just don't think you look into everything as much. I don't think like it's as much detail.
And then coming to the ruler.
In this class, the boys tend to dominate. The fact that there are fewer girls here than in the applied science class reflects the situation nationally, where almost 50% more boys than girls take physics at GCSE. By the time they reach A-level, over 3 times as many boys are taking physics.
What do you think puts girls off doing physics at a higher level, or even choosing physics in the first place?
The teacher said to us when they gave us like a briefing of physics, I remember this like ages ago, they said it's more of a boys' subject. But
and it's like they say about like other subjects like textiles and stuff, that's more for girls.
Yeah. I think with the job opportunities that it leads you to, no one really wants to do those. No girls really want to do those.
But maybe, do you know what the job
jobs,
opportunities are?
Like pilots and like engineers and doctors and I don't know.
So why couldn't girls be?
No, it's not they couldn't be, it's that they don't want to be.
They don't want to be?
I don't think they
All
do.
girls don't want to be pilots? And
No, lots don't. You don't get many female pilots
Why do
or
you
many
think
female
that is?
engineers.
Maybe.
Because it's a manly job.
Since years ago it's been seen as a manly job, and like girls have never done it.
Yeah, so you think that affects whether girls might go to do it at a later date?
if you go in for a job as like a pilot or something, they're going to be like, oh, what's going on there then? It's a bit weird.
Many educationalists believe mixed classes are one of the barriers to girls doing well in physics.
If your school decided to have single-sex physics lessons, how do you think they might be different?
I think we'd work better.
We'd learn
honestly.
more. We'd definitely learn more.
I think it'd be better because I don't really feel that we're learning much with the boys being there. I think it'll be better.
It will take the fun out of it.
Yeah,
It will.
I love, yeah.
Because even though, you know, they're like, what, 14, 15, and, you know, they're this age, they're still really immature.
Yeah.
And they still, you know, just do really weird, young stuff that it's funny because it's so stupid. And it just kind of makes the lessons fun.
You don't want them to be there for your learning, but for your entertainment.
We're going to take the readings of voltage and current.
So do you think the teachers encourage the boys more in these lessons, in kind of physics lessons?
I think they do sometimes because they don't really like listen as much, and so it has to be like gone over more. But then if like the girls are like stuck with something, he will come over and explain it, but I don't think he'll spend as much time unless we ask him.
The girls say the teacher's gender is irrelevant and claim the boys still received more attention when a female physics teacher took them for a revision lesson.
She was concentrating on the boys. Yeah, she was concentrating on the boys more than the girls, I think.
What, checking they were like out of trouble?
Yeah, checking that, yeah, making sure
Because they muck around, she goes out there to stop them mucking around and then helps them with it. And because we're not mucking around, she just kind of assumes that we don't need any help.
Sit down to your place and start doing the graph. Okay, if you need help,
The girls were aware of a lack of role models.
We thought it was like quite strange that no women have actually like taken physics that far to become really well known. It's only men that have become famous sort of from it, and so we have like less chance, so there's no point trying.
there's always that letdown that no one will ever accept you, like, trying to go that far just because you're a woman.
At the end of the day, it's time to feed back to the physics teachers.
We normally don't hear what they're thinking. I mean, in my lesson, if you remember the girls, all of them got very good results today. They were finishing very quickly. One group of girls, they needed help. They were not shy to ask for help. They were calling me again and again and got all that done. So I was getting the feeling that, of course, they are doing very well. But if they're saying other things as well outside, probably we can compare that as well.
I don't think they were saying that they're not doing very well. I think what they were saying afterwards is they can't see the reason behind doing this subject. They can't see the link to maybe the real world or where that might take them careers-wise. Why would we want to be a scientist when, you know, that's kind of what boys do?
Your group of students, they could think of 2 or 3 jobs, you know, pilot, engineer. But the group from applied science, the only thing they could think of was physics teacher.
That's amazing, because I know my colleagues do a lot of work I mean, part of the applied science course is learning about careers in applied science, and they have to profile people, etc., etc., etc. I find that amazing. So in the lesson this morning, when we're talking about mobile phones, for example, and batteries and mobile phones, did they still feel that the lesson was inappropriate for them, or...?
No, they liked the relevance, and I think from the conversation that we had, they probably want a little bit more of relating what they're doing to something in real life. And we all commented that you'd done a really good job kind of saying, well, we've been talking about a cell, we've been talking about a battery, let's use it kind of in the real world. Whereas in physics, when they were doing the resistance, they were like, why would we ever need to know?
Next lesson, they're going to find a lot of relevance. I'm glad to hear that they're having lots of curiosity why they would want to even find out about the resistance of that wire. Why would that be any relevant? Now, next lesson, when they come in, good thing that they're asking these questions, planning to go into their something that interests them. We're gonna go into those things like, you know, even hair drying equipments. Lots of girls are interested in doing, say, hair and beauty and things like that. So you can show them the relevance. But they do get curious. The girls do get really curious.
By the end of the session, both teachers feel the feedback has been useful.
One thing I've certainly learned is that putting that role model thing which you were saying before, to show them figures who have done well in this field, and it's not just for boys, maybe getting in speakers, trying to go for a bit discriminating, not the proper word probably, towards female who are doing it, and they'll give them the confidence. So that's something certainly I've learned, so it'll be useful.
And I think something to take back to the faculty in terms of monitoring across the department, just to make bring the awareness of this back up again. I think we're all very conscious of learning and progress, and it's just really making certain that that's for boys and girls, particularly in science, which we know is a very tricky subject for some.